Hi guys, welcome to another video, and in this one we're going to go through Functional Skills Maths Entry 3 Stroke Level 1 4 Rules of Numbers. In this one we're going to go through the adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, all the rules you need to know with and without your calculator. As always, don't forget to like this video if you find it useful. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button as well. And if you have any topics that you want me to go through, do make some suggestions. I don't mind. As always, you can find these notes in the link below. And if you're a part of my class, you should find these in Google Classroom already. So, hopefully by the end of the lesson, you guys will be able to use diagrams to help understand questions, understand which operation to use, addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, and calculate addition, subtraction, multiplication and division with and without the calculator. Okay, so you'll notice that this is entry 3 stroke level 1 topic as well, so there is a big overlap, because you do need to know how to do this with and without your calculator. Yeah, it is essential. So what I'd suggest is, try these without your calculator first. Maybe pause the video, have a go yourself. You should know how to do these, and when you're ready, just unpause it and we'll go through the answers. Okay, so let's go for the first one, part A. Obviously with adding, you start from the right hand side and you do your ones first, or your units. So 4 add 3 gives you 7, 1 add 2 gives you 3, and 9 add 5 gives you 14. So your answer should be 1437. Next one, 3 add 7 is 10. So I can't fit 10 here in one digit space, so I'll have to put the 0 down, carry the 1 to the next one. Usually I just carry it at the top. Sometimes, some people carry it at the bottom. It's absolutely fine. I think the top is probably better because you'll have more space. Then you have to add that 1 with the 9. Give you 10, plus the 6 gives you 16, so I'll have to put the 6 down, carry the 1, and now 1 plus 1 is 2, plus another 2 is 4, so you should be 460 for your answer. Part C, if it's written like this, you're gonna have to rewrite it so it looks something like the previous ones. So I'm gonna do 880 and underneath 319. Yeah, again, start from the right hand side. 0 add 9 is 9, 8 add 1 is 9, 8 add 3 is 11. Yeah, so it should be 1199. Let's do the same for part D. Let's rewrite it. Yeah, and again, start from the right hand side. 8 add 3 is 11, carry the 1. 1 add 6 is 7, plus 5 is 12, carry the 1. That's going to give me 10, plus 1 is 11. Yep, so that should be 1121. So, it makes no difference how many digits you have as well. It's the same rules. If you can't fit it in the space, you have to carry it to the next one, to the next door neighbor, and make sure you add that column and go from there. Well, let's move on to the next row. So these are all to do with subtraction. Again, we have to start from the right hand side. 4 take away 3 is 1. 1 take away 2 you can't do. You can't do a smaller one take away a bigger one. So what I normally do, I borrow from next door. So borrow from the 9, cross that out. That becomes an 8, which is 1 less. And the one you borrowed joins with that 1, which makes it 11 now. So now I can do 11 take away 2, which we can do, which is 9. And now I've got 8 take away 5 for my next column, which is 3. Yeah, so my answer should be 391. Next one, same again. 3 take away 7 I can't do, so I'm going to have to borrow. That becomes a 0. The one I borrowed joins with that to make 13. 13 take away 7 is 6. 0 take away 6 I can't do, I'm going to have to borrow. That makes it 10. So 10 take away 6 is 4. 6 take away 2 is 4. Yep, so we'll get 446. Part G, again, I'm going to have to rewrite it. Let's do 880 over 319 underneath. 0 take away 9, I can't do, so I'm going to have to borrow. 10 take away 9 is 1. 7 take away 1 is 6. 8 take away 3 is 5. Yep, so you get 561. Again, let's rewrite part H. Eight take away 9 I can't do, I'm going to have to borrow. 18 take away 9 is 9. 5 take away 1 is 4. 9 take away 3 is 6. Yeah, so I'll get 649. Next row, these are all to do with multiplication. And the way to do these is you multiply all the numbers at the top by all the numbers at the bottom. So I'm going to do it step by step. So first, again, I'm going to start from the right hand side. So we say 8 times 5, which is 40. Again, I can't fit 40 here, so I'm going to have to put the 0 down, carry the 4 to the next one. 5 times 5 is 25, plus the 4 carried gives me 29, which goes there. So my answer is 290. Next one. 2 times 6 gives me 12. Put the 2 down, carry the 1. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus the 1 I carried gives me 55. That goes there. So my answer is 552. Part K, I'm going to have to rewrite it. So it's 23 multiplied by 8. 3 times 8 is 24. Put the 4 down, carry the 2. 2 8s are 16. Plus the 2 I carried is 18. So that goes there. So my answer is 184. Part L, I'm going to have to rewrite it. 45 times by 7. 5 times 7 is 35. Put the 5 down, carry the 3. 4 7s are 28. Plus the 3 is 31. So it should be 315 for my answer. And then the last row, these are the more trickier ones, you know, and I know a lot of people don't like division. So I would use bus stop method. A lot of people call it the bus stop method, where you put it inside the bus stop. I don't know why they call it the bus stop. It doesn't really look like a bus stop, to be honest. But yeah, let's just go with it. So 56 is being divided by 4. So in other words, how many 4s go into 56? So we put 56 inside the bus stop, which looks like this. 4 on the outside. Yeah, and you say how many of these go into each of these separately. So how many 4s go into 5 is once. Remainder 1, that joins with that to make 16. How many 4s go into 16? Exactly 4 times. So my answer is 14. So I know that some people do like to do it differently, where they write underneath. And I have seen that before. I know that in other countries that they do the bus stop method slightly differently. You know, if it works for you, then that's absolutely fine. Me personally, this is the way I was taught. You know, this is the way I've been doing it all my life, and I've stuck with it. So, you know, whatever works for you, as long as you get the right answer, that's the main thing. Just go with it. Let's do the next one. So again, 95 is being divided by 5. So how many 5s go into 9? That's once. But I've got a little bit left over. I've got 4 left over, in fact. That joins with that to make 45. How many 5s go into 45? If you go up in your 5 times table, that should be exactly 9. Yeah, so my answer is 19. Next one, 84 is being divided by 3. So how many 3's going to 8? That's twice, because 2 3's is 6. And I've got a little bit left over, so the difference between 8 and 6 is 2. That joins with that to make 24. How many 3's going to 24? Exactly 8 times. So my answer is 28. Next one, I can see straight away I'm going to get a decimal because I know that 5 doesn't go into this number exactly. Let's just go with it. Let's put 84 inside the bus stop, 5 on the outside. How many 5's going to 8? That's once. Remainder 3. How many 5's going to 34? That's going to be 6. Again, I've got a remainder of 4. So I'm going to put technically my decimal point is here. I know we can't see it, but we know it's there. Yeah, and I've got loads of zeros after the decimal point. So I'm not changing the value of 84. It's still the same, you know, but when we write our remainder now, our remainder goes here next to this 0, just after the decimal point. So my decimal point is here, my answer as well. And now you say, how many 5's going to 40? And that's exactly 8 times. So my answer should be 16.8. Yep, in fact, I didn't even need that 0 here on the end. But if you did have another remainder, you just keep going until it goes into it exactly, and that's when you stop. Yeah, so that's how you do it for level 1 onwards. So yeah, you guys definitely need to know how to do all of these things to do with multiplication and division. Your 12 times table will definitely come in handy. You know, if you know all your multiplication table up to the 12 times table, that's definitely going to come in handy with your, obviously with your multiplications, but with your divisions as well. You know, how many 4's go into that, how many 5's go into that, and so on. So they do go hand in hand. So what I'd recommend is, if you're a bit rusty with your times tables, you know, I'm going to include a multiplication grid. Again, you can download that from the link below, or it's going to be in the Google Classroom. And do look at that all the time. Do stick it around your house, you know, stick it on your fridge. Do look at it all the time. And the only way to remember it is by just repeating it over and over again. You know, go up in your 4's, go up in your 5's, go up in your 6's, and so on. You know, that's the way kids learn in school as well. So repetition does definitely work. Let's move on to the next section though. And these are more wordy questions. You know, these are typical functional skills style questions now. So example 1, for adding and subtracting money. Lakita buys a bag of crisps costing 57p, chewy sweet for 5p, and a large bar of chocolate for £1.33. How much change does she get from £5? So there's a couple of hints on the side here. This is the purpose of, you know, these notes. You're not going to get these hints in the exam. So obviously we're going to have to add up all these amounts. Let's do the bigger one first. So I've got £1.33. Okay, I'm going to have to add 57p to that. And don't forget, this is obviously in pence. This is in pounds. I'm going to have to change the 57p into pounds, and it should look like 0.57. Yeah. So can you see I've lined it up exactly? The whole numbers go together, decimal points go together, and these pennies go together as well. So just make sure it's all in line. We also need to add 5p again. Should look like that in pounds. Yeah, that's the same as 5p. Let's add these together as one big sum. 3 add 7 is 10, plus 5 is 15. Let's put the 5, carry the 1 to the next one. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 5 is 9. That is my decimal point. And I've just got 1 here. Okay, so that should be, again, this should be in pounds. So that's going to be £1.95. So this here, this is not my final answer. This represents the total of these three things that she's buying. Yeah, the crisps and the chewy sweet and so on. So the question is asking, how much change does she get from £5? So obviously if you buy this in a shop, if she buys these things in the shop, she's going to pay £1.95. She's going to give a £5 note. How much change is she going to get? We're going to have to take it away from £5. So we're going to have to take this away. And the only way to do that is, again, I'm going to make it look similar to this. I'm going to have to put 5.00 at the top, and underneath let's write £1.95 and take away. 0 take away 5 can't do, so I'm going to have to borrow, but can't borrow from this 0. I'm going to have to borrow from this 5 here. So let's borrow from 5, that becomes 4. The one I borrowed joins with this first to make it 10. Then I can borrow from this, that becomes a 9. And the one I borrowed joins with that. Now I can do 10 take away 5, which is 5. 9 take away 9 is 0. Let's put my decimal point. 4 take away 1 is 3. So my answer should be, in pounds, don't forget the pound sign, £3 and 5 pence. Yep, that's your final answer. So just be careful, just make sure you write your answer in the correct format. Don't forget you have to take away from £5, and you know, just be careful where the decimal point is and things like that as well. Let's move on to multiplying with money. Example 2, Alice earns £5.30 an hour. How much does she earn in 5 hours? So you could add this 5 times if you want to, you know, £5.30 plus another £5.30 and so on. That's probably the long way of doing it. But let's do it the quick way. So obviously it's £5.30 times by 5, and this is how we normally write that. 0 times 5 is 0. 3 5s are 15. Carry the 1. 5 times 5 is 25. Plus the 1 is 26. And now I put my decimal back in. It's not always the case where it's you know, where it lines up with the original decimal point. You know, just be careful. What I normally do is I just multiply as normal, ignore the decimal point, and I count how many decimal places I've got now. So this has got 2 decimal places. This has got 0 decimal places. So altogether I've got 2 decimal places for my answer. So I just go back 2 decimal places, which is there. Okay, it's a bit of a coincidence, but yeah, usually, or sometimes, you know, you won't find your decimal point in the same place as the original number here. You know, if I had a 0.5 here, when I'm multiplying, it will change the position of the decimal point, so just be careful. But in this case, my answer is going to be, don't forget the pound sign, £26.50. Yep. Example 3, dividing with money. So 4 friends split the cost of a meal equally. If the bill for the meal comes to £49.52, how much did they each pay? So they're sharing, 4 friends are sharing that amount, so it's definitely to do with division. So let's put that in the bus stop, and we're sharing it between 4 people. So 4 goes on the outside. So how many 4s go into 4? That's once. How many 4s go into 9? That's twice. Remainder 1. How many 4s go into 15? 3 times. Remainder 3. How many 4s go into 32? Exactly 8 times. So my answer, they each pay £12.38. Yep. Hope you guys got the same answer. Ooh, next one. When you're multiplying and dividing amounts of money by multiples of 10. So, we're not going to use the long way of doing it. The long way is, you know, when you multiply, we're not going to do this because this is the long way of doing it. Okay? So, we're going to do, or what I like to do is, you know, when I multiply or divide by either 10, 100 or 1,000, I make the decimal point move, but in reality what's happening is your numbers are moving in terms of their place value. Yeah, but for the a quick way of doing it, you know, instead of moving all your numbers, if you just keep your numbers where they are and just move the decimal point instead, that's a quick and easy way of multiplying by 10, 100 or 1,000. Okay, so the idea behind this is, in fact, let me delete this. We've got £2.45. Okay, so my decimal point is here, and we're going to multiply by 10. So that means it's getting bigger. Yeah, so this whole number, this big number here, should get bigger as well. So my decimal point needs to move this way. Yeah, or in reality, all these numbers are moving to the left. Yeah, so let's just move the decimal point though. So this is going to jump one jump over that 4, and it's going to land there. So that's going to give me 24.5. But I can't leave my answer like this. Don't forget, it's to do with money. You know, I can't leave it with just one decimal place. It's going to look a bit weird. We usually write money like this, don't we? Yeah, so it has to have 2 decimal places. You're just going to have to put that in yourself. But what we did here was multiply by 10 by making the decimal point jump. Okay. Let's do the same for part B. I've got 65.00. If you're dividing by 100, you're making this smaller. So my decimal point needs to go this way. And 100 means 2 jumps this time. So that's 1. That's 2. So it lands there. So my answer is... Again, I can't leave my answer like this. It's going to be in pounds. And again, you know, I can't just leave a decimal point floating in midair. I'm going to have to put a 0 before it. Otherwise, again, it's going to look a bit weird. So your answer should be 65 pence. Yeah, so it's a really good way of working out how to divide or multiply by 10, 100, 1,000, or even 10,000 or 100,000. You know, just make however many zeros this has, that's how many jumps you're going to do for the decimal point. So the rule is, if you're multiplying by 10, it jumps 1 jump this way. If it's 100, 2 jumps, 1,000, 3 jumps, and so on. If it was 10,000, 4 jumps, and so on. Yeah. If it was dividing by by 10, you go the other way. 1 jump, 100, 2 jumps, and 1,000, 3 jumps. Yeah, and so on. Okay, so if you remember this, rule, so I'm going to highlight that. It does work. It's just a quick and easy way. It's going to save you so much time in the exam. Yeah, I think it's a really good way of doing it without your calculator. Let's do the next one. Example 5. Calculate £12.50 times by 30. So you could do it 2 ways. I'm going to do it the long way, which is £12.50 multiplied by 30, like this. So this is the long way of doing it. So 0 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. So that's the 0 done. So all I've done is just multiply all the top numbers by that 0. And I get, obviously I get 0. You know, anything times 0 is just 0, isn't it? Now I'm going to multiply all the numbers at the top with this 3. But it's not 3. Technically it's a 30 because it's in the tens column, isn't it? So if I put a 0 down here, now I can think of it as a 3. So 0 times 3 is 0. 5 times 3 is 15. Put the 5, carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus the 1 is 7. 1 times 3 is 3. If I add these two rows, well, it's just going to be the same, isn't it? 3, 7, 5, 0, 0. Again, let's put the decimal point back in. So this had 2 decimal places. This had 0 decimal places. So altogether, I've got 2 decimal places. That goes there. So my answer, this was in pounds, wasn't it? So my answer is going to be in pounds as well. 375. I can leave it like that. I know my decimal points on the end as a whole number. It's 375 pounds. So that's the long way. So this is long multiplication, obviously. Another way you could have done it, similar to what we just seen. You know how I was moving the decimal point or changing the place values. If you multiply a number by 30, that's the same as if you multiply by 3 and multiply by 10 as well at the same time. Yeah, because when you multiply by 3 and then multiply by 10, that's the same as multiplying by 30. So if you can do it in stages first, let's do £12.50 times by 3 first, which we've seen before, which is straightforward. You know, just do 0 times 3 is 0, 5 3s are 15, 2 3s are 6, plus the 1 is 7, 1 3s are 3. Yeah, this has got 2 decimal places, this has got 0, so altogether I've got 2 decimal places. Okay, but I've only multiplied by 3 so far, so I need to multiply by 10 and I should get the same answer. Let's double check. And now I can use the thing that I was doing before where I was moving the decimal point. You know, if I multiply by 10, that's one jump this way, so jumps this way over that 5, it lands there. So therefore my answer is, so let me just write what I'm doing, multiply by 10. So my answer is £375. Yeah, and I get the same answer. 2 different ways of doing it. You know, you could do it in stages like this in this second example, or you can do it in one go, whichever you prefer. There are other ways as well. You know, I know that some people do like to use the grid method, which is another way I've seen people doing, which is absolutely fine. You know, as long as you get the correct answer, you know, that is absolutely fine. Right, so just to practice those, have a go of the next ones yourself. So do pause the video, please, and try them without your calculator. And when you're ready, unpause it. Let's go through the answers. So I'm going to do part A here. Okay, I'm going to have to rewrite 79 pence. So it should look like this when you're adding. 4 add 9 is 13, carry the 1, that's 8, that's a 2, that's a 3. So you should get £32.83. Let's do part B here. £20. Take away £3.50. 40. Again, I'm going to have to write it like this. Yep, can you see how it all lines up? That's 0. I'm going to have to borrow again. And now I can do 10 take away 4, which is 6. 9 take away 3 is 6. And that is a 1. So, yep, don't forget the pound sign. Part C. £2.05 times by 8. Let's do it like this. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry the 4. That's 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 times 8 is 16. Altogether I've got 2 decimal places. £16.40. Let's do part D here. 45 and 6 pence is divided by 3. 3 into 4 is once, remainder 1. 3 into 15 is 5. 0 goes here. 3 into 6 is 2. And again, don't forget the pound sign. Yep, hopefully you guys got the same. Practice question 2. Sign shows today's bargains at a local supermarket. Customer buys 1 roast chicken, 2 meat pies. How much does the customer pay? Okay. Let's do part A here, because I haven't got any space. 1 roast chicken, which is £3.75, and 2 meat pies, well that's 75 pence each. Let's do it like this. Let's do it as a big sum, and that gives me 15 here, carry the 1. That's 21 plus 1 is 22. And that gives me 5. Yep, so that's going to be £5.25. Part B says the same customer pays with a £10 note. How much change should he receive? So again, let's do the working out here. So I'm going to do £10. Take away the £5.25. I'm going to have to borrow again, borrow again. Now I can do 10 take away 5, which is 5. That take away that is 7. That gives me 4. And that's my answer, £4.75. Yep, and you'll notice if you add if you add these up, you should get £10, which you do. Let's move on. Practice question 3. Costs £3.75 for adults to swim at a local pool. How much will it cost 5 adults to swim? So obviously it's £3.75 times by 5. 5 5s are 25, carry the 2. 7 5s are 35, plus the 2 is 37. 3 5s are 15, plus the 3 is 18. 2 decimal places in total, so that goes there, so my answer, let's put it in pounds, £18.75. Practice question 4. 6 friends go out for a meal and the bill comes to £112.32. If they split the bill equally, how much does each pay? So again, I'm going to have to share it between 6 friends, so I'm dividing 112.32 by 6. 6 into 1 doesn't go. 6 into 11 goes once, so that 1 goes there. Remainder 5, that goes there. 6 into 52 is 8, because 6 8s are 48. So the difference between 52 and 48 is 4. That goes there. Don't forget my decimal. 6 into 43 goes 7 times. 6 7s are 42. Remainder 1. 6 into 12 is exactly twice. Practice question 5, ring the correct answer. So they're saying, what is £1.32 times by 10? Is it this or is it this? So again, I would do it the quick way. Multiply by 10, you're moving the decimal point, so it's going this way, which gives you £13.20, which is that. So you should ring this one. So put a circle around answer A, the capital A. Again, ring the correct answer. When you multiply by 100, 2 jumps this way, so it lands after the 6. So it's going to be £6, which is this one. Part C, ring the correct answer again. So 100 times 5.4 pence. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it here. 5.4. When you multiply by 100, that's going to be 2 jumps this way. That's 1, that's 2. So it lands there. And there has to be a 0 underneath this space here. Don't forget, this is going to be in pence. Your answers are in pounds. So this is 540 pence, which is the same as £5.40. Yep, which is this one. And again, if you're not sure, you're going to have to do 2 decimal places back. So you went forwards and then you went backwards, and you get 5.4. Technically the same answer, same numbers, not same answer, sorry, same numbers, but obviously this was in pence. Your answer is in pounds. Yeah. Or another way of looking at it, just change it to pence first. You know that 540 pence. If you change that to pounds, that's going to be £5.40. Okay. Well, let's move on. Practice question 6. Farm worker is paid £6.90 an hour. How much is she paid for working 10 hours? Again, I'm going to do 1 jump this way. That gives me, in pounds, £69. You can write it, you can leave it like that. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to put the decimal point. Practice question 7. Electricity costs 12.42 pence per unit. How much does it cost in pounds for 100 units of electricity? Okay, so similar sort of thing to what we've seen already. I'll come to the pounds in a minute. So if this is 1 unit, we want 100 units, so we have to times by 100. So let's do that first. So when we times by 100, that's 2 jumps this way, so it lands there. So that's going to be 1,242 pence, still in pence, because this was in pence. We want our answer in pounds, so we're going to have to divide by 100, which is, so my decimal point now is here. I'm going to go 2 jumps backwards, back where I started, aren't I? So I get 12.42, and now my answer is in pounds though. So £12.42. Again, very similar to this this question right here with this part C. You times it by 100, but you're also dividing by 100 to change it to pounds. So yeah, you get similar sort of answer in terms of the numbers and where the decimal point is, but the units has changed, obviously. Practice question 8, ring the correct answer. Again, I'm going to move the decimal point, so this is going to go back once, so you'll get 5.02, which is that one. Ring the correct answer. When you divide by 100, I'll just do it here. So I've got 0.16, divide by 100, 2 jumps backwards. So it lands there. I get 0.0016, which is not any of these. So I'll tell you what, cross this out, and put 0.0016. Yes, sorry, I should have rechecked these notes, but if you cross that out please and put in the correct answer, it should be 0.0016 for your answer. Let's change this one. Yep, that's your answer for that one. Practice question 9. Malachi has 10 weeks to save up for a trip costing £159. If he wants to save the same amount each week, how much should he save each week? So we're dividing. How many 10s go into 159, isn't it? Yep, so technically what we're doing is 159 divided by 10. And again, let's do it the quick way. My decimal point is on the end here. We go one jump backwards and it lands there, which gives me, in pounds, 15.9. And again, I'm gonna have to put the 0 here to make it look like money. So £15.90 each week. That should be my answer. Practice question 10. Use any method to work these out, but don't use your calculator. So yeah, I'm going to do it that way, you know, where I multiply by 4 and then by 10. Yeah, it's just a quick way of doing it. So let's do multiply by 4 first. I get 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1. 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 1 is 21. 2 decimal places in total. And so when I multiply this by 10, let's write it here. And that makes it jump this way. So I get £216 for my answer for part A. Yep. For part B, let's do the same again. Let's multiply by 3 first. So 5 3s are 15. 1 3 is a 3, plus the 1 is 4. 2 3s are 6. 2 decimal places in total. And now times that by 10. It's going to be one jump this way. So that gives me, in pounds, £64.50. Don't forget the 0 on the end. That's my answer for that one. Yeah, it's pretty quick actually. You know, when you do it, even if you do it in 2 stages like this, it doesn't take that long, does it? Practice question 11. An office worker earns £8.70 per hour and works for 40 hours. How much does he earn? Again, I'm going to do it this 2-stage one. I'm going to do multiply by 4 first, and then multiply by 10. So let's do this first. Those 7 4s are 28. 8 4s are 32, plus 2 is 34. 2 decimal places in total, and now times by 10, which means this decimal point is going to jump that way. So I get £348 for my answer. Oh, and we got a couple of exam style questions. So these are taken from practice papers for functional skills level 1. Let's have a go of these. Not sure if these are with or without, but let's just do it without. Let's just I'm pretty sure that, you know, it's doable without, definitely, isn't it? Jane works at a supermarket in her summer holidays. She earns £6.10 per hour for the first 27 hours she works each week, and £7.60 per hour for any extra hours she works. Last week Jane worked 35 hours. She thinks her pay will be £250 for the last week. Is Jane correct? 4 marks. So for the first 27 hours, let's work that out. It's definitely, obviously she's worked 35 hours. So, I'll tell you what, let's do. 35 take away 27. Let's do that first, because that's going to give me how many hours extra she worked. So that's going to give me 3 plus 5 is 8. Yep, and that's going to be 8 on its own. So that's 8 hours extra. Okay, so again, you know, I'm going to work out the first 27 hours. So that is £6, 10 pence times 27. I'm going to have to do it the long way, because, you know, if this was like 30 or anything like that, if it was if it had a 0 on the end, I would do it the quick way, which I've been showing you guys, you know, the two-stage method. Unfortunately, you know, this ends in a 7, so I'm gonna have to do it the long way, so long multiplication. So let's do 0 times 7, which is 0. 1 7 is 7. 6 7s are 42. Okay, so that's that done. Let's put a 0 down and think of this as a 2 now. 0 times 2 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 6 2s are 12. Add these two together, you'll get 16,470. Okay. Well, don't forget the decimal point, obviously. So the we had 2 decimal places in total, so decimal point goes there. £164.70 is what she earned in the first 27 hours, and the 8 additional hours she gets paid £7.60. So we'll have to do £7.60 times by 8. Let's work this out. So that's 0. 6 8s are 48. Carry the 4. 7 8s are 56. Plus the 4 is 60. I've got 2 decimal places in total, so again that goes there. So this is what she got paid for the extra hours. Yep, so the total, if we add these two together, so 164.70 plus 60.80. Add these two together. 7 out of 8 is 15. Carry the 1. That's a 5. It's 12. Carry the 1. That's a 2. Ooh. No, it's not. So it's not £250. She thinks that she'll be paid £250. Is she correct? So, no. She's not correct. Yeah, she gets paid £225.50. As long as you can show that. Now there's your proof right there. 4 marks for that. Last one then. Exam question 2. Again, we'll do this without the calculator. Chris and Kerry are going to Italy for their honeymoon. The total cost of their honeymoon is £4,320. Chris and Kerry have already paid a £400 deposit. They will pay the rest of the money by making 16 equal monthly payments. How much will they pay each month? Right, so let's remove the deposit first. So we'll have to take it away. So 4320, take away 400. That's a 0, that's a 2. I'm gonna have to borrow. And 6 plus 3, which is 9. That's a 3. So that's 3,920. So this must be the rest that they have to pay. And that's divided by 16 equal monthly payments. And we're going to have to divide by 16. So that's going to be a bit weird. But let's just go with it. 3920 in the bus stop, 16 on the outside. And now what I'm going to do is, because the 16 times table is a bit unusual, you know, I don't expect you guys to know the 16 times table off by heart. I certainly don't know it. So, you know, on the side, I would go up in my 16 times table. So obviously 16, then 32, add another 16, that's 48. Add another 16, that is 64. Add another 16, that is 80. Then 96. Let's stop there. I'm not sure if I need any more, but I'll just stop there. So 16 to the 3 doesn't go. 16 to the 39 goes twice, right? Remainder. So what's the difference between 39 and 32? That is 7. How many 16s go into 72? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So what's the difference between 64 and 72? That's going to be 6 plus 2, which is 8. Ooh, and then 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is £245 each month. Yeah, it's a really good way of doing it. You know, I definitely recommend going up on your 16 times table on the side. I wouldn't recommend doing it in your head. You know, and this will help with your bus stop method, definitely. That's the end of that video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. And if you did, don't forget to press the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And yeah, I shall see you in the next video.